Hi. So I was trying to understand different agentic framework, and so I'm starting with CrewAI. So as I'm trying to understand, I will do these videos for CrewAI, LangGraph, and others. So I'm starting with CrewAI because it's popular, at least in my Twitter feed. Uh, but let's first start with what is agent. And my understanding of the agent is that it should do three things. The first is that agent should have a reasoning agent, which is LLM, which is deciding what to use, what to do, what's the task at hand. The second aspect is it should have tools, a bunch of tools, like it could search, it could read files, it could write, things like that. And the third aspect is it should have some state where it can, every time it's doing an LLM call, it's storing something and then going back, accessing that, and then adding to that data. So I'm hoping that these agentic frameworks makes it easy for me to manage the state and provide bunch of tools that I don't have to write, because just making LLM calls is easy, like everyone is doing it. There are a bunch of frameworks to also like do it across LLMs, but those are the two things that I want to get out of these agentic framework. From what I see in the Crew AI, like there is a memory aspect here. There are tools which I am assuming will be doing the aspect of search and other. They would have written some tools, and then there is this llm.py file which supports these bunch of models. So it can reduce a lot of code that I'm writing, and maybe I still need to build some tools, improve the prompts and all, but it can be a good prototyping tool for me. So that's my sort of goal here. Now, let's read through and try to understand what they are doing. So Crue AI is a framework for orchestrating role-playing autonomous AI agent. A bunch of marketing, but I think that's the main part, what they are focusing on, which is role-playing, and like act as a researcher or act as a sort of a scientist. I think that's what they would try to do there. The power of AI collaboration has too much to offer. Crue AI is designed to assume roles, share goals, and operate in a cohesive unit. So again, it feels the aspect of state management, that across the agent, it could help me manage the state easily and help instruct in the system prompt what role to play and all, which can be helpful. But it does not give me hierarchy of like what is the models and all, or how should I think about how Crew AI works. So I think they could do a better job here, but maybe we can learn by doing. So I'll start with here by installing. So first is we can install CrewAI, which is the basic minimum, and if we do all, then it uses all tools and all. Because I want to use this just for demo, so I can use the later one, even if it's, let's say, a bit bulky, I can in my production change it. CrewAI uses UV, which is pretty interesting. I love UV because it's pretty fast, but it can run into some sort of issues at times. And Python environment 3.1 and 3.12. So let's go here. My default Python, I think, is 3.13, yes. So we have to figure out how to use this one. But first make me do crew. I'll just make a Crew AI folder, and I'll go to Crew AI. Okay, so this folder is empty at this time. So first I have to do is to create a virtual environment, and I have to use 3.12 here. And then I have to activate this virtual environment, and then we have to install this. Okay, this is pretty fast, and which I assume is because it uses VUV here. So hopefully everything was resolved and it's not running into issues here. But make sure that you are using the right Python version and all, which just makes it easier. Okay, so everything is set. Now next step for me is to create this project. To create a new Crew project, run the following command. So I don't know whether I should do within the same, but yeah, let's do here only, and we can call it project 1. So I'm hoping that what it's saying here it will do is it will create this sort of structure where there is a main.py, crew.py, and there is tools, and there is a config here. And what they want us to do is that you can now start deploying Crew by editing my project. Main.py is the entry point, and these agent.yaml and task.yaml are the main file. Now they should have given some description like what are these files do, but mostly what they're saying is that define your agent and task.ml is the task that these agents should do, and these are the Python file which runs. Okay, so let's take a look. So the structure is created. So I think it will ask me to select the model and then API key. So I will just pause and add those and then come back to you. Or maybe I can do the first part in front of you. So I'll take one and I want to use GPT-4 mini, and I'll just pause and add my API keys here. Okay, so I added my API keys. Now I'll open the file here. So here is the let me delete this file. So here is the project one, similar sort of hierarchy. Project one, env file is where my keys are. There is test, which is empty. So it seems like basic structure that it will do, and then everything that we have installed as a binary should be in the PyProject POML, which is if we look at the dependency, this is a CrewAI tool. So hopefully what they are doing is, in turn, this CrewAI, it has all the packages which was installed. If you see TikTok and others which were installed, like OpenAI and other. So we don't have to worry about those, and we can write the test and all here. So likely this should be one module in the code that we are writing. But at this point, we will just run it and try to see what it's trying to do. So custom tool, I don't want to write. And as they said, the first thing we should look at is agent. So let me put here. So it has defined two sort of persona. One is the senior data researcher. This is the role, and this is the topic, which should be passed off as variable. So if we look at agent .yaml file, where is it being parsed? So in the agent.py file, this agent thing is parsed and saved, and then likely this is being used in the CrewAI code to create the agent, which we have not looked into, but that's what it should likely be doing. So yeah, we don't want to go to the library here. So we'll go to the agent.yaml file here, and so what you have to define is role, goal, and backstory, which likely should be used in prompting. So for now, we will just stick to what it's there. So one is senior data researcher, and one is the reporting analyst. So what's the role of senior data? Their goal is uncover cutting edge development on topic, and the role of reporting analyst is to create a detailed report. Okay, I see. And what is the task they are assigned? So description is conduct a thorough research on this topic, interesting relevant information they need to find, give a 10 bullets, and then this task has to write. Now, I don't know how helpful this example is, because yeah, you could say that there is a chain of thought and you are sort of burning more tokens, and more compute could means more valuable task, which is if I merge these like writing on an interesting topic in one LLM work, LLM could be lazy and not doing all these research, and will be burning less tokens and maybe much lesser output. But there is no interesting thing that is happening. We don't know whether it's doing a good job or bad job, but it's okay. We just want to run it for now. So task.yaml, the format here is the description of the task, expected output, so like markdown and all we can write here, and agent reporting analyst. Now this is interesting that how whatever we define, how it should be formatted. Like a lot of time what I use is I give XML output on how the end output should be, but there is no way to define it here. Again, I want to see that where is it's used, task.yaml. Oh, this is tasks.yaml. So it's taken here in some Crue template, and Crue.py again takes this config. So this is what we know, and researcher agent takes this. I mean, somewhere it should be by the end clear to me when I look at the code that what is going to the system prompt and user prompt. And now you could say that, okay, why do you need to know, like, why can't you just exist in what they are giving in that level of, or why don't you operate at that level of abstraction? I think at the end of the day, we do want to understand what's going to the LLM, how we can optimize it, and that's why we do want to know what is going where. So this is the agent, and the memory is whether the agent should have memory or not. These are the description, and these are the prompt, path to the prompt file, and this is what being constructed. So it's not very intuitive to me at this point, but I think as we look into their code, it should be. But we got like what it's trying to do, and then there is Crue.py file, which is constructing these agents, and the main.py file, which is finally running it. So let's come back here. So once we have gone through all the file and the .env file, which again we already had entered the API keys, so we don't need to do anything here. Now once this is run, then I don't know why we have to instantiate it, because this is the project. We don't want to modify this file or this task.yml. This is just the code that we just saw. So just copy paste of that code, I think. And then we have already put these environment keys. So we just have to go into the project and run crew install. Okay. So ls cd project 1 ls, and then we want to run crew install. Okay, so we ran the crew install, it ran. Now we have to run crew run. Now this is optional, so maybe they expect maybe something was changed in between, and that's why it's optional, but there is no explanation there. Okay, so virtual environment does not match environment path .venv ignored, so I don't know what it was trying to do here, but something that I don't need to know. So it did run, and this is the final answer. So this was the 10 topics that data researcher conducted, and the reporting analyst used it to write in a markdown format this text. Now what I would love to do is like if we would have done like search and all within it, but it's a good start. And what we want to do is to change, try to change it a bit, and maybe we'll take use of cursor in doing that. Sorry, I lost my file. So we'll go to cursor, and instead what we want to do is to create job templates. So let's go to our, whatever we is created is written here. Okay, I don't know what's used for. So let's go to config, and instead change this to 2 roles. Role 1 I think should be of hiring manager, and 2 for a senior recruiter, right? Overall goal is to write a job description for a role. Topic, that is role. Accordingly, help me change it. Okay, so the instruction is very clear, and we just want to see what it is. Okay, so hiring manager, drive key requirements and business qualification, an experienced hiring manager and senior recruiter, craft a compelling job descriptions. Yeah, so hiring manager should worry about the business aspect, while recruiter should worry about this. So we'll just accept it, and we'll delete this one. Okay, now accordingly define task in task.yml. So we want to change the task, like requirement task, yeah, key skills and job descriptions task. Okay, and expected output, this is a hiring manager. So what senior recruiter will do is what should be the external, while the hiring manager will say what they need. So we'll just apply that and accept. Okay, so we changed here, and now wherever the crew.py this was being used, we need to change it. So this was researcher, this becomes hiring manager. Okay, I don't want to change the name here at this point, but let's do that. Senior recruiter, okay. So cursor makes it a lot easy for us, of course. Job description task, job description.md, and hopefully rest of the things remain same. So we have two roles, 2 tasks, we changed the name and all. And main.py, I don't think anything has to change. Now we have to give it that the project is a bit intuitive to use, like I have not used it before, but it could be helpful if we could learn more about how to tweak it. And maybe we did not jump into these docs and all, which could have been helpful. So let's dump. So YAML.py file, YAML configuration recommended. This is the code. Okay. So if we are not using the code, there is direct code definition that we could have gone and done, which would also be helpful. But for now, let me just run this file again. So I think every time we run, we have to do crew install. Is it? It was optional, but let me try. Oh, I think let's go back. So it was Crue AI install. Okay, I'll expand this. So we nothing happened. I love how fast UV is, and we'll run it. Okay, so hiring manager, key responsibilities. Now, one of the odd thing is that what is the topic that was given? So for that, we need to go to, like, I know the format and all was pretty nice, but let's go here and let's look at, this is the project one, Creo run. Like what we want to see is wherever this topic was coming, right? How is this topic? Being used. So main.py input topic.yaml is AI LLM. Okay, so what we want to do is maybe hire AI engineer, right? So input topic is AI engineer, and this topic is AI engineer. Okay, so this is what we want to hire, and then we go and we run again. So this is hiring for engineering manager, and these are the roles, and we could create it. Now overall, like this works, and I like it, but we want to build something useful, but that is not my goal at this point. My goal is just to understand these frameworks, how they work, and then I'll come back to building something useful. Thank you so much. Hope you also learned along with me this new tool.